A common Pokemon card has a small, filled-in black circle, like this. As the name suggests, it is the most common rarity, and each booster pack will net you a handful of them. Common cards were introduced in 1996 when the TCG itself was first released. You'll notice that commons are made up of basic Pokemon that have not yet evolved, although there are exceptions to this. Commons are usually non-holo but can be found as a reverse holo. Another self-explanatory rarity, uncommon, is slightly less common than common. It is represented by a small black diamond shape. You'll usually get a couple of these per booster pack. Once again, this rarity has been around as long as the cards themselves. You'll notice that uncommon can be a basic or evolved Pokemon, and that most trainer cards are uncommon. Rarity is not just for collectors. When you're building a deck for the trading card game, you typically want between 2 and 4 copies of each card. So rarity is also designed with card accessibility in mind. Okay, this is where things get interesting. The rare rarity uses a black star, like this. And to be careful not to confuse this with the black star promo symbol, which we will circle back to later. Booster packs have a guaranteed rare, which means you'll always get one in a booster pack, unless it's replaced by a higher rarity. A rare can be holo or reverse holo. They used to be available as non-holos, but this changed in 2023 with the Scarlet and Violet expansion. If it is a reverse holo, it will be in the reverse holo slot, not the rare slot of a booster pack. By the way, the Japanese version of the trading card game do not use the same symbols. Instead, they have English letters to denote the rarity. C is for common, U is for uncommon, and R is for rare. Next up, we have double rare, which uses 2 black stars as its rarity symbol. The Japanese TCG uses 2 Rs. These can replace the rare card in a booster pack, and as the name suggests, are of a higher rarity than rare. If you've pulled any EX Pokemon lately, you'll notice that they are double rares. Double rares and every rarity moving forward will be a holo. Now, some EX cards actually do have texture on them, but this doesn't change the rarity symbol in any way. It's still just a double rare. It should be no surprise that the pink star is specifically for the pink cards. Okay, officially it's magenta, not pink, but you won't see it anywhere other than the Ace Spec cards, which are actually pretty hard to come across. The Japanese TCG uses the bold magenta letters A, C, E as a rarity symbol. You'll also notice that these cards are textured and have a very specific holo pattern. The gold star rarity is called an illustration rare, but the Japanese side of the TCG calls it an art rare and uses the letters AR as a rarity symbol. You'll instantly notice that these cards look different. The illustration goes right from the top of the card all the way down to the bottom. These are pretty versions of cards that are already in the set. For example, you might notice that Pokemon 151 has 3 Charizard EX, or that Temporal Forces has 4 Walking Wake EX. All of the cards' text is identical. They have the same HP, the same moves, but a different rarity and card number. This is done so the trading card game players can easily get cards for their deck, and then collectors, such as myself, can have fun chasing after the rare versions. All of the rarities moving forward on this list are going to have less rare, more attainable copies. Another thing you'll notice with the illustration rare is that the card's number will have surpassed the set's total number. This means that the card is also a secret rare. Now, it's important to note that secret rare isn't a rarity in itself, and it does not have its own rarity symbol. Instead, the secret rares are made up of multiple rarities. An illustration rare is just one of them. So anything surpassing this set number is considered a secret rare. Ultra rare looks a lot like double rare, but uses silver stars instead of black. For the Japanese version, it will be SR, which stands for super rare. In a booster pack, you can sometimes find it in the rare slot. So these are also secret rares and usually come after the illustration rares regarding the set's numbering system. Ultra rares have their own look to them. The artwork again goes top to bottom, covering the entirety of the card, but the illustration isn't as detailed as an illustration rare, for example. Ultra rares and anything moving forward is going to have texture. I can really try hard to get good shots of this, but nothing is as good as seeing this in person. These cards have a thick kind of varnish over top, and a detailed texture is pressed into it. And each illustration has its own fingerprint. The texture will sometimes flow with the artwork and add depth, or highlight certain design choices. After this, we move into special illustration rares, which is symbolized with 2 gold stars, or SAR for special art rare on Japanese cards. These are my personal favorites, and many of you will probably agree. These are like illustration rares, but with the texture. There aren't very many of these per set, and they're pretty hard to pull. Both illustration rares and special illustration rares will occupy the reverse holo slot in a booster pack. 3 gold stars means hyper rare. The Japanese version calls this ultra rare, denoted by a UR, which is different than our ultra rare. Now, these are the highest rarity currently available in a booster pack. As you can see, they are covered in gold glitter, and on top of that, textured. These gold cards will end off the set number. There is nothing after them. These can be found in the reverse holo slot of a booster pack, just like the illustration rare and special illustration rare. Some sets will include a hyper rare energy card. This is the only time you will see an energy card with a rarity and a set number at the bottom. But we're not done. Next up, we have shiny Pokemon. These are Pokemon that have had their color palette swapped, but identifying them is easy because they have their own rarity. The Japanese rarity symbol is an S, but ours is a gold star again, but this one isn't filled in, it's just an outline. If you're worried that you're gonna mix up the gold stars, don't. A shiny rare will always look like this, and it even has some texture on it. But you might get shiny ultra rares mixed up, and I'll admit this one is a little bit complicated. The Japanese version will have SSR, which stands for shiny super rare, but the international cards, our cards, will have 2 gold stars, but again, they're not filled in, just outlined. These look a lot like ultra rares, unfortunately, but that is what they are. They're shiny versions of ultra rare Pokemon. The Pokemon's color will be different, and you can look for the gold stars that look just like the rarity symbol in the artwork. And of course, the number will be different, which reminds me, shiny rarities will always be secret rares. Not all sets include shiny rarities. The most recent is Paldean Fates, which was a special set released in early 2024. We should also mention Black Star promos. Now, I don't think this is officially a rarity, but let me explain it anyway. At the bottom, where you would usually see a rarity symbol, will be a black star with the word promo. Japanese cards will just have a black rectangle that says promo. And this is an abbreviated way of saying promotional. It'll also have a card number, but no total set number. However, these are numbered one after the other and won't tie in with the mainline expansion sets. Promo cards can come from anywhere, from seeing a movie at the cinema to being included in a special product. Maybe the GameStop employee will give you one. You really don't know when or where you're gonna find one. They're designed to be included with something, whether that an event, a product, or a purchase online. But there's one place where you will never, ever find a Black Star promo, and that's a booster pack.